Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and it's Brick Hall o'clock. Yep, it's Brick Hall o'clock. Today's package is from bricklink.com as usual, and I didn't want to do another bumper car video today just because, well, I haven't had much time since I did the last one, to be quite honest with you. So we'll do a brick haul as usual, but we will come back to the wonderful bumper car build on Friday. And the reasons for this order, well, I just checked to see what's, yeah, it looks all right to tip out. The reason for this order was actually a few very interesting pieces that I've not really seen before that probably came by the way of the Builder minifigure wall, as we've got lovely, well-packaged stuff here, all in 4 large bags. And, well, although I haven't got a great deal of pieces for a great deal of projects with this order, I have got a load of really interesting stuff. So it's kind of an order that hasn't satisfied many projects, but has improved my collection somewhat. So I'm going to delve straight into this bag first, I think. That's probably got most of the really interesting pieces in. I'm going to tip it out there. I love it when people must use some fantastic sort of crimping sort of sealing machines or something like that to use old plastic again. Very clever. Right, so not necessarily the most important thing, but the thing that's leaping out right from the outset are these 4 Magma Drones, which are, of course, from Agents, with the baddie Magma Commander being in control of all of the Magma Drones. And I've got quite a few of these already, actually. I'd say I've got about 6 or so, and here are 4 more. So really, I need to stop buying these things because, well, I might be doing a sort of bit of an army build, but I might well have enough now. So I might have to cross those off the list so they stop popping up when they're in a store that's available. I mean, they are very good builds. I like the sort of magma that's fueling them on the stomach there and on the back, and they've got this great big gun kind of built in on the robot arm with a cone piece on. And I kind of think the aerial instead of a head is quite endearing, actually. I quite like that. I mean, some people will think that looks kind of unbuilt or something like that, but no, I really like it. So, yeah, I've got 4 more of those. They were quite cheap. They often are. You only got them in one set in real life, 8971 Aerial Defense Unit. And you actually got 3 of them in that set. So usually when somebody's got 1, they've got a few. It's a bit weird that he's got 4 here rather than a multiple of 3, but nonetheless. So I'm going to have to think of a scene for my army of these. I mean, I've got 1 Magma Commander and about, as I say, 10 of these guys. So they obviously need to be, a bit fragile. They need to be having some sort of battle with somebody. And I don't know in what context. I don't think it's really going to suit under the sea so much, given that they're all sort of magma fueled. But anyway, so yeah, maybe ideas for that one would be appreciated. And then I'll try and stop buying them. I don't hold out much chance of that happening, but nonetheless. Now here's a very interesting figure, also actually magma related by coincidence, and he's dropped his second sort of bonus fist, sort of utensil type piece. There we go. This guy is from Nexo Knights and is called Moltoor. And that's probably because he's a baddie. I'm presuming he's a baddie. And he's kind of made of molten rock himself. And I love these little molten toenails he's got going on. They look really good. He's got the really big fist pieces that a few superhero characters have. And the Ultra Agents character, oh golly, which one is it? Is it Tremor? Has them as well. And this guy is used. In fact, he's quite badly used. Is that a bite? That is, I think, a bite on his head, both sides. So that is not good. I'm going to need another head to replace that one. But I'm glad he's got his fists and his nice shoulder pads. Yeah, that is a bit disappointing when it's as obvious as that. I mean, I saw it straight away. Don't know if you can see that there. You can always tell a bite because there's usually another bit of damage on the other side from the other child's tooth. And that's there right between the eyes, so that's not ideal. But I quite like the character, so I think I'll see if he's got a replacement head, this vendor, and if not, put just the head on my wanted list for a replacement. Now again, I don't know where I'm going to use this guy. You kind of think under the ground, Maybe he'll be sort of a baddie that's fighting the power miners or something like that if I do that idea. I haven't really decided what's going on underneath my city, because I'm going to have a sort of semi-submerged table for an underground scene. Maybe will be the Magma Commander's base. I don't know. Right, and now here I can see a very important piece, and this was one of the main reasons why I went ahead and bought from this seller, because they've obviously been one of those people that goes to the Build a Minifigure wall in the Lego store, because I hadn't had one of these before, I hadn't really seen it either. It's an absolutely amazing dog torso. I mean, that's brilliant. So we've got a dog, which the catalogue describes as a French bulldog. I'm not sure if that is a French bulldog. I mean, it's definitely got its ears squashed down if it is. But nonetheless, it's a dog in a space helmet with what looks like a sort of external microphone, which wouldn't work if it was in space, would it? The microphone would have to be on the inside of the helmet. But anyway, we're getting a bit technical. And stars on there. Just a few creases on the back, but it has got printing. And I just thought that was a lovely torso. So I really wanted one of those. So yeah, it really helped me decide to buy from this vendor. And he had two of them. So I got two, because a city my size, I think you can get away with having the same torso twice. So that is a very good purchase. And then whenever I find somebody who goes to build a minifigure walls, I tend to sort of really scour the minifig pieces, because you can often find other ones that come from a building minifigure wall that aren't kind of available in any sets or by any other means. And they aren't necessarily labelled as build a minifigure in the catalogue. Some are, capital BAM, but a lot aren't. And there's a few examples from this vendor. So here is a sort of ponytail on one side hairpiece in medium azure, and we've had that in black, brown, dark orange, including on the Series 18 Brick Suit Girl, for example. But this is in medium azure, as I say, and, well, isn't available as part of any set, so it must be unique to the Build a Minifigure wall. So that is really nice. So I can give that to somebody who wants blue hair. Very similarly, here is a hairpiece in orange, which is kind of, I think, kind of like Rachel or Friends type cut. But we've had that in black as part of a Dimensions Adventure Time set. We've had it on the Series 10 Trendsetter in bright light yellow, but never in orange. So that is a Build a Minifigure exclusive piece as well. So that's great to have. And I do believe there was another one. Oh yes, it's this one. Not as exciting, just some sort of beach shorts, but in that medium azure colour as well. And that's not been part of any set either, and it's the proper sort of dual molded type rather than just printed. So I can swap them out for somebody on my beach, because they only did a few different variations of this, so everyone's got the same colour trunks really. So it'd be good to have that, making it mixed up a bit more. So yeah, just these sort of little pieces, and definitely these torsos are a bit bigger, really make a relatively normal order a lot more special in my mind. So that's really good. Right, another thing that I've been buying, it seems, as part of this order, was some really old school helmets. So I've got 3 different ones here, and they're all a bit like crazy. So I just bought one of each to kind of see how they looked. I mean, this one looks really evil. I'm not sure how the black's showing up that well, but nonetheless, it's kind of got some almost Magneto sort of shaped helmet with this sort of torso bit, and it looks very sort of imposing. Sort of a hint of a sort of gas tank on the back and 2 clips. So that's really interesting. I don't know where I'll use that. Might make my own baddie, or maybe use it under the sea. But that's been part of loads of Aquashark sets in 95 and 96, including 6190, Shark's Crystal Cave, which is one of those really cool undersea sets with the kind of magnets to pick up different boxes and things. Could have done with a few of those pieces for my for my Dodgems, and even the really expensive compass piece on the back of that set. So that's a really interesting line, and a very interesting sort of helmet setup. Here's another one in white. And it's a bit more like a normal sort of classic space helmet type shape at the top, but this extra sort of bib bit at the front, and this really cool sort of aerial on the back and kind of fan on the back, and also with 2 side clips. So yeah, I got these really for experimental purposes, and I thought, well, if they really worked, I could get some more, but it's definitely very interesting, and that could be not just for under the sea. Maybe this could be somebody in a lab, you know, when they've kind of got dangerous chemicals that need the fumes extracting or something like that. and that would keep his suit ventilated. Not from the fumes, obviously, that would be a very bad idea. So this one is part of loads of Aquanaut sets and Time Cruiser sets even, like 6494, Mystic Mountain Time Lab, which if you take a look at this set, I mean, what? That is the weirdest set ever. I mean, what is going on in that set? I know it's Time Lab and we've got different scenes from different times or something, but it's just crazy. That's got to be the weirdest set ever. Yeah, so I really like that. Helmet setup as well. And then another one in old grey with a stud on the back of the head and these two sort of pipes coming from up here. And they look like they could hold those small pinholes. I don't know what you put in them. And then a sort of combined pipe for breathing at the front with a stud on as well. So it's almost like a pilot's helmet, or it could be a diver as well, I suppose. And that was in all sorts of sets, like Explorians, Rock Raiders, Airport, Time Cruisers, and the rather wonderful Red Tiger set, 2774, from 1999, which is a really fun set, actually. Wasn't aware of that one too much before. Yeah, so that looks really nice as well. So we've got some very interesting helmets to play around with. Now, you think, oh, more penguins. He's got more penguins for the refrigerated wagon. Not exactly. Can you notice the difference? Yeah, these are evil penguins with red eyes. And these were only ever in one set, which was the Batcave Break-In from 2017. And that's set 70909. Where they were kind of really tooled up robo penguins with basically big sort of cutting saws and all the rest of it to help the character, the penguin, who comes in on his giant rubber duck. And I thought I could use these kind of as just an evil penguin amongst the other penguins in that refrigerated wagon. Maybe that would be one. And then maybe I could have another evil penguin as part of my Arctic scene. And before you say, Robin, there aren't any penguins in the Arctic, I was thinking of moving it from the Arctic all the way around to the bottom of the world and making it an Antarctic scene, just so I could use some penguins. Because I do really like those penguins. I quite fancy getting some more. So having one red-eyed one, which was either evil, or if it's in the case of the Antarctic scene, might be kind of a radio-controlled one, you know, when they take really close-up camera footage, using kind of a fake penguin in amongst the penguins as to not scare them. So it could be that. So that's a really fun piece. Right. Really big, massive, ornate, glowy shuriken. I don't quite realise it was this big, actually. I thought it was sort of more about that size, but it's massive, isn't it? So this has been in a number of sets, but only in this colour has it been part of the Gamers Market 71708 from 2020. And it's kind of ornate, actually. It's got quite a good sort of 3D pattern in it. I was thinking it could go under the sea as part of a really big plant, sort of on a stem, and maybe it could. It's a bit big, but we'll have to see on that. It wasn't very expensive. And I quite like it. It does look a bit too much like a shuriken in a way, but anyway, that's good. And talking of the undersea, I didn't buy these for comical heads in my fairground or anything like that. And you could arguably make them into balloons and kind of put them on a stick and kind of have people carrying them around like they're a Simpsons blow-up balloon for sale or as a prize. But that's not why I bought these, actually, though having said that, I could buy more and use them as that. What I want to do with these is kind of hide the face and have them as a sponge underneath the sea. So if you think about just seeing two shapes like that, maybe at slightly different angles or something like that, they could look like coral or sponges or something like that under the sea, maybe at different heights as well. I think they look very organic indeed. So yeah, Marge hair for under the sea. How about that? So we've got a Marge from Series 1, Simpsons, and from Series 2. So they're very good. I'm going to turn them to face away, just so we don't have to look at that scary face. Then I got some plates that were cheap in dark bluish grey. I got a base, which must have come with one of those, presumably. Some juice boxes, 2 of those. They were well priced. If I'm going to be doing a supermarket at some point, I'm going to need some stock, so that's why I was thinking of getting those. Here is a piece from a Monster Fighter set, or rather 2, but one of them is the Vampire Castle 9468, and that's vampire with a Y in this case. which is very similar a set to the sort of recent Hidden Side castle with Neymar Ream in it, but it's very cool. And I really like that sort of jet car with guns that comes with that set. In fact, I don't think that is a jet engine, actually. I think that might be a net fire for capturing the monsters that we are fighting. So that is a set from 2012. And I've been looking for these for a while without the sort of Eye of Horus symbol on for my antimatter characters sort of spinning dish. So I was kind of thinking I could use these instead. But we'll have to see. I don't really want to rub that off, but I'll be able to use it somewhere, I'm sure. It's quite an interesting piece in this trans purple colour. So that's that. Some tiles in sand green. I think they're for a subway entrance. That's probably likely. And then loads of heads. Usually do my heads at the end, but since they're all together and they're in a big stack, I'll do them now. And I think I can turn some of them around where I've got a two-sided duplicate. So I'll be turning that around and that around. Right, let's see if I can remember these. So we have the two sides of Lord Business or President Business from the Lego Movie 1 at the top there. Then we've got a character who has got two sides of his face, but I've only got one copy of it. So he's got a moustache and some glasses. He's looking rather alarmed, and they're looking more normal. Now he's a character called Jeff Fisher from the old Atlantis sets, and he's a diver in sets like 8075, Neptune Carrier, which is a very cool set, if you ask me. I'm almost tempted to buy all the Atlantis ones, but they just cost a fortune now, so maybe not. And then underneath him, I've got this smiling guy who is also worried on the other side. So they'll both work well in my fairground if they're on the roller coaster or something. And he's a character called Bobby, who's also a diver in Atlantis. And he comes in sets like 8080, Undersea Explorer, which is another very cool set, sort of big mech type thing. And there's a very cool looking beastie as part of that set as well. I really like his long tail. What else we got? So there's this head. That is from the Apocalypseburg Abe from the Lego Movie 2. She looks very angry. I've got that one before, but my city's big enough to take a few. And then we've got the two sides there of, I think that is the ADU jetpack flyer guy from Alien Conquest 30141. There's two sides of the same one there. That everyone will know is Emmett, these two sides of the same thing. And then at the bottom there, we've got the Series 7 Daredevil, and I really like his sort of handlebar moustache and a very worried face as well. So there's absolutely loads that I can use there for my fairground. So that's really, really good. And then even more minifigures. Oh, I've been looking forward to these. So in no particular order, we have got the Evil Robot from Series 8. And this was for the minifigure only, so I haven't got the ray gun, unfortunately, or the sort of red, trans-red sort of laser bar that comes with it. And that's kind of annoying in a way, because that would be quite hard to get now separately, I think, because I think that both of those are unique pieces to this set in those colours. But nonetheless, that would have made it cost a lot more, and this was very reasonable, and it's in very good condition as it is. So I've got yet another sort of evil robot type thing going on, so maybe they're having a big fight. I don't really know. Oh, and then another Atlantis character. So this is the Squid Warrior, who is the last of the beastie sort of type baddies that, oh, well, let's say animal ones. We don't really know if they're baddies or not. They're just not humans. That I need. There's a couple more on that side that I don't have, like the statue and the Portal Emperor and things like that, but I'm not really after them. I'm after just the animal ones. And this guy's got this lovely tentacled body piece, which is just on this set in this colour, this dark red, and the Alien Commander on the Alien Conquest line, of course, except the Alien kind of wears it backwards with the tentacles at the back, and this guy wears it forward. And I haven't put his head on yet, just because I'm admiring his torso, which looks very nice, and his face, which looks really cool and scary. I like that a lot. So this guy was new, apparently. And then if we put on his rather fantastic squid head. Oh yeah, look at those eyes. going through there. That's great. He's one of the best ones, actually. He might even be better than my Lobster King. I might have to make it the Squid King. He's definitely more impressive with all of his tentacles, isn't he? Oh, I like that. It sort of reminds me of the new video lines that have been announced, that we've got a very cool sort of octopus type headpiece in that for one of those. But it looks a bit sort of punky to be used under the sea. But yeah, I really like that. And this sort of beard he's got made out of some more tentacles. And the suckers as well. Yeah, he's fantastic. I really like him. Put him as pride of place in the middle there. Yeah, so I think that's finished my sort of animal ones for the Atlantis Warriors for Underneath the Sea. And I'll have to give him a trident as well. And with another collection that's got a lot further to go is my aliens from the Space Police line. And this one is called Slizer. And he was in 2 sets in 2009, like 5974, Galactic Enforcer, which, let's face it, is a big enough ship to enforce an entire galaxy all on its own, I reckon, with a very cool little ship there, sort of driven by cranks. So, yeah, this guy was the other alien in that set, and it's really nice. I've got about 2/3 of the aliens, I think, in that line, and the ones that I haven't got are probably the hardest to get and the most expensive. He's got very good teeth, hasn't he? He could almost go under the sea as well. Yeah, he looks great fun. Yeah, so I really like these sort of baddies. I always think the baddies are kind of more interesting than the goodies because they're usually just humans with sort of a uniform on or something like that. I like the skull on his belt. Yeah, he looks great. And then this one, which I didn't massively want, which is the Spider Lady from Series 14 with her sort of spider costume and her spider web kind of cloak and all the rest of it, and she comes with this red spider as well. But the thing is, this was described as new, though it is built, but I won't sort of split hairs about it because it was only £2 something or other, and I thought I don't have it, and maybe it'll augment my sort of Halloween themed sort of set of minifigures. Oh, and the hair there with that spider's web on. So yeah, I may as well get these minifigures that I don't have in my collection when I can, if they're really reasonably priced. So that was the thinking behind that one. So yeah, I fear I might have done the interesting half of this haul first, but nonetheless, we've got an absolute wealth of minifigures and sort of minifigure accessories and things like that to make loads of really cool scenes in my city and under the sea. Now this packet looks very odd in that they've actually, for packaging's sake, put absolutely hundreds of these flower pieces that I ordered onto a plate that I also ordered just for stopping them running around. I'd have quite preferred them loose, but nonetheless, I got these because they were less than a penny each, I think. And basically, it means that I can use them for trees, use them for bits of, I don't know, leaves or whatever on the floor in my sort of more grassy areas, maybe around my fairground or something like that, to show that it's sort of long grass. And also, even in stacks like this, maybe under the sea, you sort of think that might be a sort of plant. This could almost like be a set of plants all sort of, on a slope or something like that. Could be really interesting. So sometimes you just need an absolute load of a certain piece. And I imagine this person, given they go to Lego stores, as we've established already, probably bought an absolute bucket load of these. And that's why they were so cheap. So there's loads more that fell off in transit. And then I've got these kind of quarter cylinder pieces in brown. And I just thought that these would be a very sort of quick and convenient way of making a tree trunk. And the fact that I can make it into kind of a half circle as well as a full circle means I could use this as a good tree facade and have it right up against the wall or something like that. So I've got 6, so that means I should be able to make a really big tree as well. Yes, I'm very happy to have those. That'll be a nice quick way of getting some height into the city. And then some cheap bricks, largely, in sand colour, 2x8s. Sand colour, well, the tan, I should be calling it, but I'm probably going to use it as sand. 4x8, and dark tan, 6x8s. And then lots more grey. I mean, you always go through dark grey, especially when you do buildings for sort of sports. We've got some 2x6s and some 2x10s to go with our 2x8s. So I'll put those all over there. And then the last piece in here is from a friend's set, actually. I didn't buy it for the stickers, but they're in very good condition, so I might actually use them. That one looks pretty central, they're not entirely straight, and that one looks very much to one side, it's very much towards the left. And the thing is, with these very big clear stickers, they are very hard to do a good job with, even using my patented hot tea technique. Just because, well, being on a window, they show absolutely every imperfection. So I could remove these and just use the panel underneath. That is why I bought them. They were only sort of 20 odd p each. But they come from the 41101 Heart Lake Grand Hotel from 2015. And there's kind of a replacement for that coming out this season if you want a big colourful hotel from the Friends line. But yeah, I really like the stickers on them, so maybe I'll try and salvage them at least first to use them somewhere. I mean, they look sort of a bit ornate and old, so maybe we could use those as a shop window or something like that. Yeah, so I'll put those back here as well. And I did just want to comment on the release of the Daily Bugle. Massive set that looks rather fantastic. I do like the explosion coming out the front and so on. I won't do a sort of separate video on my thoughts on stuff like that on it because, well, too many people do that sort of thing. I don't need another one from me. I mean, if your sort of YouTube recommendations was anything like mine, you'd have had about 15 different videos from different people all on the same subject. So I don't think you needed a 16th one there. But I mean, on one hand, it's very suitable for sort of my tall building sort of area, which is sort of more towards the hospital where I've started putting the space tower and the racing tower and so on. So it could definitely go there, but it's quite expensive with loads and loads of superheroes, and they've all got the sort of skin tone, skin color, which I don't really have in my city either. So I'm kind of torn. I could sort of make it into just a normal sort of newspaper building or something like that. So maybe ideas of how I could adapt that would be appreciated. I could go ahead and buy it. One benefit of actually getting it would be that it comes with the Firestar character, amongst others. And, well, Mrs. Hood's favourite comic book character of all time, even more than Wonder Woman, is Firestar. In fact, I genuinely believe she wants to be Firestar, and I don't just mean used to, I mean still does. So I think she would want that. So if we did buy it, we wouldn't have a Firestar flying over the top like we do on the official set. I think that would get commandeered and become part of her very small collection, but nonetheless. So yeah, jury's still out on that one. Give me some ideas, give me some incentive to go and get that one. Oh, and on other official sets that have come by recently, because I have had some criticism that I only do hauls and don't show the sets that I buy, and that's partially because I haven't bought that many sets recently, but here goes as well. I've bought this. In fact, I bought two of them recently, which I haven't opened yet, and you might be thinking, why have you bought the Mermaid Vibes set 41909 from Dots to add to your collection? Is it because you want to sport some rather dashing and fabulous bracelets around your wrist? Well, no, it's not. I bought this one because of the very sort of underwater themed tiles, and I thought before long it might sort of be harder to get. And I don't think this line, much like some of the video stuff, is doing that well, because these have got an RRP of £6, I think it is, which I think's just crazy, really. And I got them for less than half that on discount. So I figure that for that price, it's not too bad. So shall we open one of these? So if I just do it down there, I don't really need the bracelets themselves. So if you've got any cunning idea for how I could use the bracelets, then, oh wow, that's a lot smaller than I kind of thought it was going to be. So given that this side is largely useless, unless you give me a great idea with just the bracelets in, I've basically bought that many tiles for about £2.80 or something like that. But it does have these nice shell ones in. You can see there with a sort of clamshell. These ones with the sort of scales on, that I think also looks a bit like a shell. And these sort of other shell-like colours, some silver ones, and there's supposed to be a kind of diamond one in there, isn't there? Is that one? Well, it's kind of frosty, I suppose, more than anything else. I wonder if that glows in the dark. But either way, I think I can use all of these kind of just on their own, on the seabed, as kind of shells, which is what they're supposed to really be on that set, really. So I think that'll work quite well. So, yeah, I've got a load of those. So that's all I have for today. Do give me your ideas for where I can use things. But otherwise, I think that was a really fun haul. Right, well, I thought I'd better test these using my UV torch, and they do glow. So if we do that, you can see that that's quite a good effect, actually. So these will look even better under the sea and on the seabed, because that will have UV lighting as part of that setup. So if they're all iridescent, that'll be even better. So very happy to see that. That's made that purchase a little less of bad value. But anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, well, there's only one thing I can do, really. I'll get massive complaints if I don't go back to the Dodgems bumper car ride that I'm building and do part 3, which should see us with the kind of surround around the outside and some pillars and lights and all sorts of stuff. And then it will be fit for adding to the fairground. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I imagine most of you are as well. So, yeah, see you then.